that if I knew what I knew now, I would still be married to my first wife. But now that I do know, that's why we've written this book, because we don't want anybody to go down this path.
This is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today, your media hub for all things Black entrepreneurship, politics, news, and events in Hampton Roads and beyond.
When I say black, y'all say Wall Street. Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street. When I say black, y'all say Wall Street. Black.
Hello, welcome, and thank you for tuning in to this 56th edition of Black Wall Street Today.
Greetings.
My name is Danita Hayes, and I am the co-owner of Victory Allegiance Realty, happily filling in for our regular guest as she spends time with her little ones. We would like to recognize our show sponsor, Abena Aforo Salon for Natural Hair Care on Princess Anne Road in Norfolk. Today's show is a hodgepodge of entrepreneurship, and we're going to start out with a focus on real estate. Yes, real estate. So that is my passion, as you guys know. Today, I am so honored to be here, and I am going to be interviewing someone very special to me. His name is Chris Hayes. So for those of you who don't know, that is my husband. He is a mortgage lender for Movement Mortgage. Hello, Chris, and welcome.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So listen, Chris, tell the people a little bit about yourself. Give us a little background, your history.
All right. So you already mentioned I'm Chris Hayes. I've been in the lending industry for about 14 or 15 years now. Married, happily married with 3 beautiful children. And that's really about it. Work with Movement Mortgage right now.
Okay, and so you've been in the industry for about 14, 15 years. Yeah. So listen, this is a question that I wanted to ask you. What is one of the most daunting questions that you get from first-time home buyers when it comes to purchasing a home? Like, what are their fears?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's really not daunting. That's the key word. They're afraid.
Gotcha.
Okay, and I like to debunk that fear. It's nothing to be afraid about because they listen to the media, and the media tells them that you have to have like 20% down payments and stuff like that, and you actually don't. Okay, so but that's the biggest thing, getting over the fear and also their credit. They also fear how their credit scores are going to be, but you don't have to worry about that as well either. We got programs that we can go down as low as 580 to get you approved for a mortgage.
Wow, 580. And so as a first-time home buyer, what are some of the things that you would tell your first-time home buyers, some do's and don'ts, so things that they should do and not do when preparing to purchase a home?
Okay, one of the big things, this may sound as obvious, but it's to pay your bills. Pay your bills on time. Make sure you're not late with anything. Try not to have any overdraft fees in your bank account. Okay. That's critical as well. Because you're trying to get a mortgage and you're saying you're going to be able to pay, like, just for example, $1,000 a month. But when we look at your bank statements, you have negative money in your account every single month. So we're going to want to know, well, how are you going to be able to afford this house? How are you going to be able to pay back this mortgage if you're not able to save any money at all?
Gotcha. And so, like, I know a lot of times I hear you use the example of if I was giving you $120,000, I would want to make sure you're going to be able to pay me back.
Right.
So tell us, like, what are some of the things that they would need if they were getting ready to purchase a home, that they should prepare for?
Yep, it's really simple stuff. If you're able to provide a W-2 for 2 years, bank statements for 2 months, some pay stubs for 30 days and an identification. Okay. That is all you need to be able to see if you can get approved for a mortgage. Once we find out, even if your credit score isn't where it needs to be, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do in order to get ready to purchase a house.
Okay. And you know what? That's one thing that I love about Chris, y'all. Even though, yes, he's my husband, but he's also my lender. He's my preferred lender. That's who I use for mostly all of my clients. One of the things that I love about him is that even if we have a client who can't get approved, he will give them a plan to show them exactly what they need to do to get approved. So that is amazing. And we actually follow up with our clients when we have those situations. We help them with their credit and everything, things of that nature. One of the other questions I have for you, because, this is Black Wall Street Today, and there are a lot of business owners who are listening, a lot of entrepreneurs. And one of the questions we have is, as a business owner, because we don't get W-2s, we are self-employed. What would we need in order to get approved for a home loan?
That's a good question. So for business owners, you just need to have 2 years of business tax returns. Okay. And then you would need to do a year-to-date profit and loss statement to show what you've made and what your losses are in your business. But that's it. An ID, 2 years of business tax returns, and a profit and loss statement. Pretty simple stuff.
Okay. And so the income, though, because I know that a lot of times we try to write everything off, to lessen the blow of the taxes. So talk about that.
So it's a couple things with that. So a lot of times the business owners, they write off a lot for tax purposes. And unfortunately, we're going to have to use that income that you show as your bottom line number. However, there are programs that we have where we can do, and I want to get too in detail with it, but you can just use a bank statement for business owners as well. Credit score has to be like around 760 in order to do that. So there are ways to get around it, but a lot of times they're going to base everything off of those 2 years of tax returns.
Okay. So tell me, what are some things that some advice you would give someone who is thinking about buying a home, maybe in another year or so? Yeah. What's some advice that you would give them so that they can prepare for that? And, I know that there are fees involved. There's sometimes down payments depending upon what type of program they have. But what advice can you give them to get prepared?
The biggest thing is make sure, I said this earlier, pay your bills on time. Mm-hmm. That's critical.
Okay.
You don't want to have any late payments within the last 12 months of the year. Okay. Pay your bills on time and try to save some money. There is no exact dollar amount that you need to save. But the more money you have in your account, the better it is for you. It strengthens your ability to get approved for a mortgage. It makes you a stronger borrower. So save some money and also make sure you pay your bills on time. Those are key. Okay,
great. And so I know that a lot of times people come to you all the time with questions about credit.
Yeah.
One of the biggest questions I get, even as a real estate agent, is bankruptcy.
Okay.
If I've had a bankruptcy, is that the end-all, be-all? Will I ever be able to purchase a home?
Well, let me first preface this by saying I'm not a credit expert, okay? But, no, if you have a bankruptcy, it's not the end-all, be-all, okay? Depending on which bankruptcy you filed, in some cases, you can be able to purchase a house after 1 year or either 2 years. And then once you do that, just make sure you reestablish your credit and make sure nothing is late again on your credit, but just reestablish yourself. But it's not once you have the bankruptcy, it cleans everything off. You get the opportunity to start over. And in a lot of cases, that's the best thing that can happen for you.
Gotcha. Can you talk about some of the programs that are available for first-time home buyers?
Yeah, there is a first-time home buyer program. It's a VHDA program where you have to have at least a 640 credit score.
Okay.
And this program you can have without having to do a down payment. Because a lot of times people say you need 20% or 15% down payment. You don't have to do that on this program. So 640 credit score, 100% financing. That's a blessing.
Okay, awesome. So, Chris, let me just ask you this. When you are dealing with people who may have owned a home before and then they want to sell that home or possibly rent it out and buy another home, I know a lot of people don't really understand how that works as far as the financing goes. Okay, so let's say I wanted to rent my home out. I still want to keep my home. How am I able to qualify to purchase another home?
Yeah, and you can definitely still do that. If you wanted to rent out the house that you're currently living in, we'll just take what you're going to rent the house out for, and basically that'll cover the mortgage that you're currently paying for that house. Okay.
So it's like you get a credit for it?
I guess you can say it as if it's a credit. But if your mortgage is $1,000 and you're going to then charge the new person to live there like $1,300, we'll take a portion of that $1,300 to make sure it covers the $1,000 payment that you have, and then you just basically qualify for the new mortgage on your own, as if you don't even have that house anymore.
Okay.
You have to do a down payment if you do that, though. So the down payment can range anywhere from 3% all the way up to 20%.
Okay. So tell me, what are some of the pitfalls that you see, or some of the mistakes that people make, especially first-time home buyers, like when they're going through the process? What's some of the things you can think of that causes them maybe not to get to the closing table?
Yeah, the biggest thing is a lot of times I've said this maybe 2 or 3 times today. Okay. Sometimes when I pull your credit, a lot of those items are not on your credit report immediately. I take like a car, for example. If you go get a car, a lot of times the car dealership don't put it on your credit until maybe 2 to 3 months down the road. Mm-hmm. So once we review your credit and you notice that car payment is not up there, you need to let me know that. Because we're going to take another look at your credit before the closing happens.
Okay.
And then that car may appear. The problem is I just approved you based off of not having a car. And then once we get that new liability, that may cause you not to be able to get approved for the mortgage.
Okay. I know I ran into a situation before where I had a client who had these large cash deposits that they were depositing into their bank account. Yeah. And it just was a mess. So talk to us about that. They don't understand why you guys are asking for bank statements and just explain that to them. Because I think a lot of times if we have a better explanation of why we're doing certain things, the expectation is there, and then they can actually it'll go smoother. Yeah,
the thing with my industry, cash deposits are like a bad word. We don't want to use those. Okay. The thing is, we cannot source where that money came from. Okay. So a lot of times, just for a quick example, if you need $2,000 to close on your house, we get your bank statements and we notice that you have $1,000 cash deposit. We have to now back that $1,000 cash deposit out because we can't use it because we don't know where the money came from. It's illegal for me to give you the money. So we have to be able to know where that money came from in order for you to use it for your purchase. Okay, gotcha. Well, I appreciate you for coming on today. Listen, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you. Yeah, really, really easy. It's Chris Hayes, but my phone number is 757-328-4284. Or you can simply just click on the link of www.movement.com/Chris.Hayes, and everything will come directly to me. And they can follow you on Facebook at Chris Hayes. Yep. And guys, guess what? We always go live every Wednesday night, me and Chris Hayes, from my Facebook page, Danita Hayes. Just answering any questions you have about real estate, any questions you have about financing, credit. We go live every Wednesday night, so we'll be live tonight from my page, Danita Hayes. And so, again, we just want to thank you, Chris, for coming on. Just one last thing before we go. What advice would you give to anyone who is an investor who wants to possibly get into real estate investing and they need financing? Do you guys also do that? We do. A lot of companies have investors have to use about 20 to 25%. The great thing with us, you only have to do a 15% down payment. And that's remarkable. Not a lot of companies doing that. Okay. Yep. Awesome. And where is Movement Mortgage located? All right. My location is in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Okay, awesome. So guys, listen, you got the information. You have any more questions about real estate financing, please reach out to Chris Hayes. Again, we will be live tonight on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, you have any other questions, just tune in, send us your questions, and we will answer them live on Facebook this evening. So we're super excited. Today is going to be an awesome show. We've got some awesome guests coming up. Mr. Gary McCullom, as well as Nicole Vincent. And we're going to get into that just a little bit later on everything that they've got going on. Mr. Gary McCullom just wrote a book, and it is an awesome book, and he's going to talk to us about that today. So listen, don't leave us. Stay tuned because we've got some great guests that are coming up this evening.
Excellence is being able to perform at a high level for a long period of time.
The next level success is just a step away. Stay tuned. Black Wall Street Today will be right back after a word from our underwriting sponsors.
When the conversation is good and the friends are even better, you'll find a wine that brings it all together. Shoe Crazy Wine. Remember that name. Shoe Crazy Wine. Available at Costco, Kroger, and these other fine retailers.
And now, more Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham on Smooth 88.1 WHOV.
All right, welcome back to this 56th edition of Black Wall Street Today. I am Danita Hayes, guest host, co-owner of Victory Allegiance Realty, and my business partner, Domenick, just came in, and he is going to be helping me co-host today. Sponsored by Abina Aforo Salon for Natural Hair Care. It's time for the hashtag Add This to the List. And we want to introduce Nicole Vincent. She is the founder and CEO of Moms Need Help 2 LLC, a mommy concierge service that redefines the post-birth experience by personalizing care for both baby and mother in the comfort of their own home. Nicole developed her business to create custom support plans for mothers with 3 levels of assistance: sitter, nanny, and lifestyle manager. More than just a babysitting service, Moms Need Help 2 LLC is a complete, full-service, one-stop shop to assist mothers in being able to fully bond with their newborn babies without having to experience the stressors that come with new motherhood. Nicole, welcome to the show. So excited to have you.
Thank you.
Nicole, we're so excited that you are joining us today. And we're excited what you do for the community. So what is one thing that you always knew that you wanted to do when you grew up?
Wow. Well, I always wanted to be a mother. I did. My mom, she's so strong, so I admired that by my mom. She was a single parent. So, it was kind of like, and then plus I just loved being around other little ones. And, my sister, we're 4 years apart, but I'm the eldest. So anyway, at that time, just watching my mom groom us and to show us the way, and just her leadership made me want to duplicate or replicate that.
Yeah. So that's what made you want to start your business. I mean, that's like a very unique business, I think, and a lot of moms could use it. One of the things I think I was reading is that you do lifestyle manager. Tell me about that, because I may need your services for that.
Basically, our lifestyle manager packages are the ones that actually go into mom's home as she's transitioning from childbirth. Okay. So basically, how I started the company 5 years ago. We just turned 5. Is because of my own experiences. My husband is not from here. I'm not from here either. I'm from Philadelphia. So therefore, after the birth of our now 6-year-old, we still had 2 school-age children that needed to go to and from school, had things, I'm trying to hold down the fort at home. My husband had to, of course, make the money to support us. So for me, I fell into a very dark place, depression. Because it was very overwhelming. And from there, that's how Moms Need Help 2 was born, because of my experiences. It was really rough. So my biggest thing is to help moms, not only as they transition, but just through life. So basically, we can help moms from before they give birth up to the time they become empty nesters.
Yeah. Because I was just saying, a lot of times moms try to do it all.
Yes.
And for some reason, there's this stigma that you have to be superwoman.
Yes.
And so to see your business, because I was reading over it today, looking at your bio, I was just like, this is something that's really needed in the community. And
Absolutely.
A lot of women can definitely benefit from it. So what are some of the other offerings that your company has? And do you host any events for moms?
Yes. So basically the other, we have so many different programs or packages that we offer. So we do sitters, nannies, lifestyle managers. We actually can travel with parents. We have hotel and resort sitters. So a lot of times if parents want to go to, let's say, the beachfront and stay, and then maybe during the day to do some family things. And in the evening, let's say they're like, well, I wish we can get out. You can with our help. So basically we help the parents in the hotel room with their children as mom and dad needs to venture out. And then we actually just had events this past summer, the end of the summer. We're looking to do more events because my biggest thing is to promote not only the awareness of depression, because of that there's a stigma on that as well. A lot of individuals are afraid to step up and say, like, I'm hurting. And for me, I just thank God that He placed me on this platform to be able to remain transparent to my families. Because as I sit here today, I'm 1 in 7. I'm one of the women that actually battle depression today, but I don't let it define me. You see what I'm saying? And my biggest thing is doing God's work and actually helping other moms, from where I started to get to possibly where I am now and beyond. So it's just all about recreating that authentic village.
This is really a divine moment because I had this conversation with my wife this morning. Well, late last night. Right. And we have 3 young girls. So me noticing, the stress that comes with work and being a mother, being a wife, right?
Absolutely.
And so I wanted to say, okay, what can I do to take some of the load off, right? Now I can just say, I got Nicole.
Yep. Give us a call. And we're a little different though than your sittercity.com or whatnot.
Okay.
So basically our process is a little different. We actually meet moms and dads for a consultation first, where I can connect with moms and dads and the children. The second meet is when you meet your caregiver, whatever package you signed up for. We all come into your home with a portfolio. Okay, and this portfolio has all our credentials, our accolades. We're all vetted and certified, so you'll be able to see that as well as any kind of recommendation letters and numbers. So therefore, because I can sit here all day and tell you what kind of licensures I have, but it could have been from 8 years ago that I didn't even refresh, So for me, I'm a different parent. I'm a little visual. I'd love to be able to meet mom's needs, not only, just to ease her mind as well.
Okay. So would you have references for all of your staff? Like if the parents wanted a reference?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, that's all in that portfolio, as well as any kind of numbers, reference numbers. So if parents want to just, call them the references themselves, they're more than welcome to do so.
Can you just kind of give us a rundown of some of the different packages that you offer?
Right. So basically, we have sitters, nannies, lifestyle managers. We have travel sitters. We have overnight, sitters as well. And we have event sitters and the resort sitters, hotel and resort sitters as well.
Do you all have a website?
Yes, we do.
How can you be reached?
Absolutely. Our phone number is 757-504-0511. Again, that's 757-504-0511. And our website is www.momsneedhelp2, which is TOOLLC.com.
And one more thing before we go. Or did you have another question?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to mention, for those of you that's looking to come to the gala, it would be great for them to reach out to you because they can come enjoy the gala, right?
Absolutely.
And have someone to watch the children while they're enjoying the evening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if, I don't know if it's too late, but because we can also have the care on site with our event sitters as well.
Gotcha. So what I wanted to do is just for you, just to give, if there's a new mom out there who may be experiencing some of the symptoms of depression, after they've had the baby, can you just give them some advice? What is something that you can just help them with, to let them know that it's okay, you're not alone? And what advice would you give them since you've been through it before as a mom and as a woman?
Don't be afraid to speak up. Stand firm in who you are and knowing that you are human. And also to reach out to whether it be organizations like myself, because we actually can put you in contact with counselors where they can it's a simple phone call you can make. And you can actually voice and just let them know what's going on, how your day-to-day life looks like, how you feel at that moment. But just don't be afraid to speak up is my biggest thing. And it's okay. And, even if they need to speak to me, our phone 757-504-0511 is always open.
Gotcha.
24/7.
What advice would you give to that husband? I know this is the last question I have for you.
Yeah.
For the husband that's finding it difficult to understand the emotions of his wife.
Wow. Listen. Be that listener. Because, sometimes even for myself, at the time when I was going through it, at first I thought it was like, I just needed a nap. Like I was just having a bad day. Maybe I just need a fresh cup of coffee or two. It makes it makes me feel better. For husbands, I just always say, just be that listener for your wife. And also too, because I know my husband, sometimes he was in the military, so he's kind of like that militant, like, just shake it off, it'll be all right, you know what I'm saying? Go work out real quick, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes, we need a little bit more than that, just to use a little bit more compassion.
Okay, so what are and I don't mean to get all into this, but I'm a woman, and I'm pretty sure there are other women who are out there listening. What were some of the symptoms that maybe you experienced or some of your clients experienced so that they know, okay, this is depression or this is postpartum depression?
Luckily, by the grace of God, it wasn't to the point where I had any kind of suicidal thoughts. For me, honestly, I always made sure the children were kept, but for myself, I was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? So whether it be eating, even down to putting, fresh clothes on, I cried all the time. Breastfeeding, I cried. Washing the dishes, I just started crying. Watching, the Disney Channel with my little ones, just cried. And I couldn't stop.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for opening up and talking to us about this topic. I think it's something that's very well needed in the community. A lot of women aren't educated about it. They may be going through this and don't really know what's going on. Absolutely. A lot of times they just say, the doctor just may say it's hormonal changes. And so thanks for being transparent with us about that topic.
Absolutely.
And again, go ahead and give them your information one more time so that they will definitely have it if anybody needs to reach out to you.
Absolutely. Our direct number is 757-504-0511. Again, it's 757-504-0511.
Thank you so much, Nicole. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through a few announcements before we get to our next guest. On this Thursday, October 24th, all roads lead to Focus on Finance. Focus on funding our semi-annual conference in partnership with the city of Norfolk. Get your business ready to scale. Learn small business accounting hacks with CPA Clarence Harris Jr. Then visit with 8 different funding sources during our resource panel, from venture capitalists to angel investing and everything in between. That's this Thursday, October 24th at the Jordan Newby Library in Norfolk. Visit our Facebook page at Black Brand Biz for more information on this free event. Breakfast and lunch included, and registration is a must. Place an ad in Black Brand's 2020 Black Business Directory. Over 500 copies will be distributed during Black Diamond Weekend. To place your ad, visit blackdiamondweekend2019.eventbrite.com and make sure you get your event tickets for the Black Diamond Weekend. And once again, we want to also announce again our 6th annual toy drive, and Christmas gala, which is coming up on December the 6th. At the Hub 757 from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's going to be a night of royalty. We do have some sponsorships available for business owners and entrepreneurs. Tickets are $50, and the proceeds are being donated to 2 nonprofit organizations. One is Hearts Full of Grace, which is a nonprofit that assists families who are experiencing homelessness, and the other one is
Enlightened Mind Mentoring, nonprofit organization that mentor young men in the city of Suffolk and surrounding areas. And so we're so excited for the opportunity to be able to give back to these 2 dynamic nonprofit organizations.
Yes. So we are super excited, guys. So make sure you get your tickets, because, again, the ticket sales are being donated to those 2 nonprofits. They depend on us every year for those donations so that those kids can have a great Christmas. If you need to get tickets, you can go to vargala.eventbrite.com. It is going to be a night of royalty. Get dressed, get on the red carpet, take beautiful pictures. Have some time to wine and dine yourselves. It's going to be an awesome, awesome time. So today we are excited. We're going to be talking to our 3rd and final guest, Mr. Gary McCullom. He is just such an awesome person. He does so much for the community. Also a member of Black Brand. I had the pleasure of meeting him at one of the Black Brand meetings. And so when we get back from our next break, we are going to be talking to him about his new book that has just come out. And we're excited to talk about it. Domenick, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
I'm ready to talk about this new book. So once we get back from the break, you all, I'm so excited for our next guest. And just speaking with them earlier, it was just a blessing. So you all make sure you all stay tuned. Invite a friend, tell them to turn to 88.1 so they can listen to this great man talk about this great book.
Yes, exciting. So guys, don't leave us. Make sure you stay tuned. We will be right back with the Mr. Gary McCullom. Mr. McCullom is from Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, yes. I was actually seeing that one of my Facebook friends, when I posted the flyer, he said, I went to high school with Mr. McCullom in Richmond. So that's how I knew that you were from Richmond, Virginia. And he has made his way down here to Hampton Roads area. How long have you been in the area?
Since 2006.
Okay,
I've
awesome.
had the pleasure of living all over Virginia.
Yes,
maybe we can chat about that as well.
Yeah, so guys, tune in. When we come back, we will be speaking to Mr. McCullom. He's going to go into more detail about his book and just letting us know all about it and how we'll be able to get it.
All right, Gary McCullom is also the author of the newly published book, I Still Do, 7 Keys for Getting and Staying Married. In his writing, Gary McCullom uses the insight he gained from his first failed marriage, along with the successes of his current 26-year marriage, to delivering straightforward and soul-stirring counsel on how you too can navigate the twists, turns, and temptations modern couples face today. So, Gary, what a dynamic career.
Well, thank you guys. Thanks for the opportunity to chat about the book. I'm now an author, so that's still kind of neat to be able to say that. But
something to add to your pedigree, huh?
But as I say in the book, I'm a husband first. I'm a father, a businessman, a minister, and people would ask me. And my wife, I have to give her a shout out. Cookie, absolutely. She's listening over in Virginia Beach. So, honey, I love you. But people would ask us, you guys have such a great marriage. You have such a great marriage. But see, I firmly believe that we overcome by not only what Christ did, the blood of the Lamb, but we overcome by the word of our testimony. And the testimony is that I did it wrong the first time. I got married when I was 20 years old. I was a junior in college at JMU, and I didn't have a clue about what a marriage was. And that's what we talk about in the book. What I learned in that first failed marriage. And guys will get upset at me because I always say, you show me a divorce, I'll show you a guy who did not know what he was doing.
Wow.
And people
hold on, say that one more time, Gary. Come on, Gary. Say that one more time.
Say that one more time. I'll show you a guy who did not know what he was doing. And I say that, and I have guys, they come to me and they say, well, no, you didn't know my wife. I say, well, I don't need to know her. I know what the Word of God says is that we're supposed to be first as husbands. Not first in the sense that we're better. The appetizer is not any better than the main meal. It's just that there's an order. Adam became before Eve. And so being first in that house doesn't mean you're beating your chest and saying, you listen to me and do what I say. Being first is you set the atmosphere in the house.
That's right.
You're the first to say, I'm sorry. You're the first to say I was wrong. You're the first to show and demonstrate servant leadership in the home. And that's what I didn't know the first time. And God, we serve a God of a second chance.
That's right.
And I met my wife, 1989, September 29th, 1989 at about 10 o'clock.
And he still remembers.
I still remember that day I met her. And we've been together we were married 3 years later. We've been married, God willing, 27 years on December 26th. And so we talk about in these 7 keys what this is all about. How the reason the book is I Still Do is because we believe that every day you have to say that. You said I do on the wedding day, but every day you have to get up and say,
that's awesome.
I still do.
That's awesome. That's great inspiration there. So why do you think so many couples don't stay together?
We talk about it in the book. I had a pastor many years ago who told me that people get married for 3 wrong reasons. They get married for sex, they get married for money, and they get married for convenience. And then they get divorced for 3 reasons. Sex, money, and convenience.
Wow.
The sex gets boring, the money gets strange, and it's just more convenient for me to be with somebody else. And so what we talk about in the book is those are clearly the wrong reasons. What is the right reason? And so we think this book clearly is a great premarital tool. We think premarital counseling is absolutely important. You need to go into that not like you're buying the cake or picking out the wedding venue, but you gotta go into that premarital counseling, not even with your mind made up as to whether you're going to get married. You're actually going into that counseling, deciding, should I be married to this person? And you're not making that decision until you complete that counseling.
That's awesome.
So that's the...
Yeah. So for a husband reading this book, what does he get out of the book?
I think he understands what his preeminent role is. Your preeminent role is not what it's not your paycheck. It's not your, being a father. It's your preeminent role is being a husband. That's the preeminent. Matter of fact, we talk about how, because Cookie and I, we struggled with infertility. We were married for 20 years before our beautiful daughter Ruth was born. Wow. And we've met a lot of couples who struggled with infertility, and the marriage ended because of that. And so what we talk about is that the husband and the wife, they are the family. In fact, you can look at it like the children are not even a part of the family. They're the beginning of the next family. That's why they call them offspring, because they're going to grow up and they're going to spring off and start their own thing. But you and that husband and wife, that really is the family. So to your question about the husband, love your wife. Love your wife. And with all what that means in terms of loving your wife, it's interesting that the Bible doesn't tell the wife to love her husband. See, the fertilizer is the love. Our wives are life givers. They give life to things. You've heard the adage that, we can get a home, get a house, but, how do you make it a home? She makes it a home. Well, we have to love our wives in every possible way.
So what do you think? I mean, in this society now, in this generation, you see a lot of people getting divorced. Why do you think that, what do you think is the main cause for people giving up so quickly when it comes to marriage?
Well, we talk about what a marriage is, and I think we have this fairy tale image of what a marriage is, that it's supposed to be this every day is sunshine, honey, it's great, loving and no arguments, and that's just not what it is. Let's think about this for a second. A husband and wife. It is the most unique relationship there is. It's not like a sibling relationship. It's not like a business relationship. I talk about it in the book. Your partner, your wife, your husband is the DJ, is your designer, your decorator, your lover, all of those roles. And so if you're having all those roles, all those relationships, isn't it unrealistic to think that you're never going to be in an argument?
Yeah.
You are. But the issue is, when you say this in the book, expect hard times. Expect tough times. Expect that things are not going to go well every single day. And what happens, to your question, why do people give up? Why do they quit? Is because they think that they're the only ones going through that. Well, our marriage must be a failure because we argue all the time. No, that's just part of being man. And I'm not talking about an abusive situation, because we talk about that in the book. Because no one should stay in those kind of relationships. But we get divorced over toothpaste. We get divorced over stuff that at the end of the day, that's just part of being married. And I think the other thing we make a point in the book is, who created this institution? God created the institution of marriage. This is not a man-made thing. Matter of fact, the institution of marriage was created before the church. And so here you have two people.
Hold on. Slow it down, Gary. Hold on. Go back.
Yeah.
Go back, because you said something that was very powerful there.
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, I'm saying that we have an institution that was created by God before the church. Because Adam and Eve, let's talk. This is two people. And so we have these two people who are one. Absolutely. The two shall become one.
Yeah.
And we somehow think that because we have tough times that we're going to throw in the towel. No. Here's the issue. A marriage is a union between two imperfect people. But you didn't make the commitment to each other. You made the commitment to a perfect God.
That's right.
God didn't quit on you, so don't quit on him.
So here's another question for you, because the title of the book, you all, by Gary McCullom is I Still Do. How do you keep it hot, Gary?
How do you keep it hot?
How do you keep it hot? Yeah.
I think it starts with the husband. I think we have to be the ones to always, and I talk about this in the book, you know, I don't ever, my wife is not, Cookie's not jealous at all, but I don't even play around with, you know how some guys can be, well, this is my work wife, and this is my, you know, they joke that they may have relationships with other people. I don't even play that because you never know.
That's right. That's right.
And we talk about some stories in here where I was just being nice and someone else took it completely the wrong way. And so you just don't play around with that with regard to the relationship between, let nothing come between you and your husband, you and your wife. Let nothing. And what I mean by that is nothing even means the children. Because children, particularly, you know, if you're in a, you know, the children are not blood related to one of the husband and wife,
family.
You can have issues, and we talk about all of that in the book. I mean, the key thing is husbands, love your wives, and don't quit.
And don't quit.
Don't quit.
You all heard that. Quitting is not an option.
It's not, because here's the thing. The Bible talks about how God hates divorce. Well, why does he hate divorce? He hates divorces because it has a multi-generational impact. And what I mean by that is we don't look at the fact that child is going to one day, God willing, be somebody's great-great-grandfather. That child. And so what that child actually sees in that divorce or experiences in that divorce is something that will have multi-generational impact. And so we selfishly throw it away, never thinking about, well, what impact is this going to have on that child?
Yeah,
and that child's child. And again,
and one of the things that I'm looking forward to read this book, because for those of you that are listening and saying, well, he doesn't know my story. For those of you just tuning in, he started out with his first marriage failed.
Yes.
So this is not a guy that's talking down on individuals that were divorced, because you were divorced.
Matter of fact, I was, my first wife is a pastor in a church in Petersburg, Christian Tabernacle. Her and her husband are co-pastors at this church, and they invited us to preach this Sunday. So we were up there, all of us. And I had members of his congregation coming up to me saying, how is it that how this doesn't make sense to me? And I said, well, one, with the Holy Spirit, you can do anything.
That's right.
Because he brings unity. I said, but the other thing is, and I say this dedication in the book, I dedicated, one of the dedications in the book was to my first wife's mother, my first mother-in-law. And I said, I dedicate this book to you because I'm apologizing for not being the husband that your daughter deserved.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because I wasn't. And I've told my current wife, I've told my first wife that if I knew what I knew now, I would still be married to my first wife. But I didn't know. But now that I do know, that's why we've written this book, because we don't want anybody to go down this path.
Awesome. Well, you all, we're going to go to a quick break, but we're going to come back and we're going to allow Gary to share with you how you can get a copy of the book and some other platforms that he has for couples in the area. So make sure you stay tuned and tell a friend. Tune in to 88.1.
The biggest financial asset that you have going for you by miles is the value of your own earning power over the years.
If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. More important business insights are on the way. Stay locked in. Black Wall Street Today will be right back after these messages.
Peace. I'm your brother Crump. I have a new podcast called Snatched. Sorry.
You're about to get snatched.
It's the best of my YouTube channel, Crumb TV.
You're listening to the Snatch Podcast.
In audio mastered format.
Snatch and run!
On Blueberry, Android, the Edgy Podcast, Stitcher, Digital Podcast, and Speaker.
Ever experienced what snatching is like?
And now, more Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham on Smooth 88.1 WHOV.
All right, guys, we are back and we are still here with Mr. Gary McCullom. Before we go, though, we just want to find out, Mr. McCullom, how can we get that book?
It's easy. You can go to I Still Do, the number 7, Keys, KEYS.com. I Still Do, the number 7, Keys, KEYS.com.
So you guys, you heard it here. Mr. McCullom was just dropping some golden nuggets here for married couples. I'm excited about this book. I'm going to get my copy today. And hopefully he'll be doing some conferences later on, throughout in the future for married couples.
Well, we clearly are going to do that. But the main thing is someone said, well, how do I do this? How do I do this? There's no instruction manual. There is an instruction manual for marriage. And that is, it's not just this book, but it's in the Word of God.
That's right.
Husbands, let your wife see you praying. Let them see you reading God's Word. Trust me, it'll work in your marriage.
Amen. I love that. So listen, guys, today, Domenick Epps and I, Danita Hayes, we are the co-owners of Victory Allegiance Realty. We were sitting in for the beautiful Blair Durham while she is spending time with her little ones. She will be back next month. It was a pleasure and an honor to sit in for her today to co-host the show.
Phenomenal. Stay with us online at Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Black Wall Street Today on Instagram. And then follow us on Twitter as well at BWS Today. We look forward to talking again next week. Have a wonderful week. I have said and I will continue to say that the most important priority for the Black community is the Black community, not a particular political party. Phenomenal.
Hey, yo, when I say black, you say Wall Street. Black Wall Street. When I say black, you say Wall Street. Black. When I say black, you say Wall Street. Black. When I say black, you say Wall Street. Black. Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street.
Phenomenal.